He's a good friend of mine, and I'm going to do the best I can to make sure that I get the nomination, and we'll go from there.
So you're not worried about him getting in?
Well, the way I read what he said is if I didn't get the nomination, he might consider it. Well, I'm going to relieve him of that and get the nomination, so he doesn't have to.
Yeah, she's going to relieve all of us. Joining the Malzberg panel, by the way, she's, of course, talking about Michael Bloomberg, the former mayor of New York, thinking about running for president. Jane Velez-Mitchell, founder of JaneUnchained.com, New York Times bestselling author and author of Addict Nation, an intervention for America. We're having an intervention. Tom Borelli, Ph.D., contributor with Conservative Review. All right, welcome aboard to both of you. Before we get to the prospect of Michael Bloomberg entering the race, Michael Mukasey was just with us, and one of the things we talked about was his piece that a criminal charge is justified, Tom, in the email affair of Hillary Clinton. And, it's amazing that the Inspector General's letter talks about super top secret, so super top secret that the Senate Foreign Relations Committee can't even see it, and they oversee the State Department. And Hillary says, "Oh, that's a New York Times story everybody's talking about that got emailed." I mean, she's in an alternate universe.
Well, she's a national security risk herself. Let's not forget about those 4 brave souls who died in Benghazi. Now there's information on her personal server that really could disclose the people and our practices in terms of espionage. I mean, my God, this woman could be responsible for even more death and destruction. Look, this is why her polls are going down. This is why Bernie Sanders is ahead in the first 2 states. We'll know very soon. And this is why she's panicking.
Jane?
Absolutely not. In fact, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy admitted that all of these witch hunts were precisely that.
This is the FBI, Jane. The FBI.
Becoming president of the United States. It's a partisan witch hunt. I defy you to point to one thing that happened as a result of these purported...
Why don't we ask the Russians? They probably have it all by now.
Jane. So the FBI... under a Democratic president, is conducting a partisan witch hunt.
Yeah, because the Republicans keep dragging up this nonsense about her emails from years ago.
And the Republicans put the server in her house in Chappaqua.
For reasons, in an attempt to take Hillary down. They've even done fake redactions to try to make it look even more nefarious.
All right. Jane, now they're talking about people like Uma Abedin, and other staff members who went through great pains to take classified information off a top secret server and send it to Hillary's unprotected email. Are you going to defend that also?
It was a cut and paste job on a New York Times article about drones. Big whoop. Big whoop.
Oh my goodness! All right, let's move on to Bernie Sanders, to Michael Bloomberg if he gets in the race. Tom, the polls, the early polls with a Bloomberg in there, hypothetically, tend to show so far that Hillary would lose more support in a 3-way matchup than Trump, but he would lose some also. But does a Jew from New York who says you can't drink large sodas and is the biggest anti-gun nut in the country even stand a chance?
Obviously, the man never travels outside of New York
City. And by the way,
City.
I'm Jewish. I just can't imagine a liberal Jew from New York ever being president. I'm sorry.
I don't think the religion's the problem. It's his policies and views. You mentioned soda. You mentioned anti-gun. That's not going to play well in most of the country. The man needs to leave New York once in a while. And let's not forget, he played a huge role in this whole anti-coal agenda. He's given millions of dollars to the Sierra Club to bankrupt the coal industry, which has a lot of union blue-collar workers out of jobs.
He's given money to try to save the environment. Listen, the reason that Bloomberg is considering a run is because he is galled by the Trump candidacy,
by the failures
which has
of Hillary.
crossed over into bizarre performance art with that Sarah Palin endorsement speech that was really something out of a horror movie. And I think, like a lot of Americans, he's horrified, and he's like, oh my gosh, I better do something because the prospect of a Trump candidacy is frightening. You know, Iowa and New Hampshire do not represent America. When you walk around other areas of America, people are literally horrified at what's happening over this Trump candidacy. And so I think Bloomberg is one of those reasonable people who's also horrified.
And there's millions of people going to the movie 13 Hours who are horrified of how we left our brave souls out there to hang out and die.
All right, guys, I want you to hear Danny DeVito, a man who's worked and made millions off of Hollywood his whole life, talking about the fact that there aren't any Black Academy Award nominees this time around. Listen.
And it's unfortunate that the entire country is a racist country, and this is one example of the fact that even though some people have given great performances in movies, they weren't even thought about.
I say, DeVito, get the hell out. You don't like it. 10 seconds each. Tom.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. Denzel Washington, winner and multimillionaire.
What about it, Jane?
There is some unfairness, but I want to point out that a Mexican director has been dominating the Academy Awards now for years and did so again this year. So there is diversity in that.
Ah, look, Jane got a little unchained on us right there. All right, Tom and Jane, thank you very much. Up next, we're taking your viewer call-in. So if you want a chance to talk to me, call us at 877-NEWSMAX, 877-639-7629.